Houston, which would have made him the league's first $50 million a year guy. He is still under contract for a few years, but we saw Anthony Davis force his way out of New Orleans. Harden reportedly focused on trying to get to Brooklyn. Adrian Wojnarowski joins me now. And Woj, I could be focused on winning the Powerball, right? I mean, being focused on getting traded to the Nets doesn't matter unless the Nets are focused on him and or Houston is willing to even entertain that. So how viable are these conversations if they're existing at all?
Well, Scott, there has been contact between the Nets and Rockets, I'm told, but there hasn't been any real meaningful dialogue. And the Houston Rockets are not in any rush to just move off of James Harden. Remember, they're in a position where they have time on their side. He's under contract for at least 2 more years there. And there's no sense right now that the Rockets look at that Nets roster and imagine the assets that might come back and that they feel like they'd have to rush into something to do it. But James Harden has made it clear to Houston. He turned down a $50 million a year extension. That was the max extension off of his current salary. 2 years, $103 million. Turned that down recently, I'm told, and made it clear, I want to go play with Kevin Durant. I want to go play with Kyrie. I want to play in Brooklyn. But right now, that is just a wish.
Interesting. So that move, we'll see if there is anything to it moving forward. But there was a trade that you broke on Monday, and that's the fact that OKC has agreed in principle on a deal that would send the future Hall of Famer Chris Paul to Phoenix. He was excellent last year in OKC. The get back significant. Kelly Oubre, who was great for the Suns, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen LeCue, and a 2022 first-round pick. Presti's just got 800 first-round picks out there in OKC. Paul would join DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, and you look at the ways that they excelled in 2020. Paul led the entire NBA in points scored in clutch time to find his 5-point gains in the final 5 minutes. Booker last season, 3rd in the league in total points scored behind just Harden and Lillard. Ayton, just 22 years old, 7th in the league in paint points per game. I know the league's transitioning, but there's still some value to be found in the former number 1 overall pick. So now, Woj, I get what Phoenix is trying to do in theory, but what do they really think that this is going to add up to in that rugged Western Conference?
Scott, I think this is a tremendous move for the Suns. This is an organization that has been rudderless for a very long time. They have talent. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, these are all-star level players. They brought in Monty Williams as head coach last year, and he brought a level of leadership and professionalism and competence to that organization that they desperately needed. And I think Chris Paul is the next step for them. Now, typically you wouldn't want to put a 35-year-old point guard with 2 young 20-something young stars. You want to get a core that's built around the same age. This is different. And I think both Ayton and Booker will greatly benefit from being around Paul every day, learning great habits. And this is still a player who's playing at a very high level. He had a tremendous year for Oklahoma City last year. You saw him elevate that Thunder team. Great impact on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, their young point guard. And Chris Paul has a lot left to give in this league. If you can get the Phoenix Suns into the playoffs in the Western Conference, that is a tremendous rise from where they have been. And I think for this organization, just bringing Chris Paul on board just gives them a level of credibility that they really needed.
As always, Woj, appreciate your time. Love the frames, by the way. That's Scott. A nice look. I like that.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. Handsome man. In the aftermath of the trade for the Thunder, they add yet another first-round pick to the arsenal. Across the next 7 drafts, the Thunder could have as many as 16 first-rounders if all the protections fall their way. The surplus begins Wednesday when they will have both Denver and the Los Angeles Lakers picks. Adrian Wojnarowski breaking some news. We say goodbye, we say hello. Jrue Holiday, there was some thought that he could be on the move, and he is. Where's he going? Well, he's headed to the Milwaukee Bucks for 3 first-round picks. Eric Bledsoe and George Hill heading to the Pelicans. So Holiday heads to Milwaukee, and the get back pretty significant in Bledsoe and Hill, and then the 3 first-round picks. And Woj is back. It's magic. It's like a magic trick out here. They're like, oh, John Humphrey's ready. You're ready. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I like Jrue Holiday a lot. That seems like a pretty healthy get back there. What was the impetus in this move?
Well, even more than you had in the graphic there, Scott, the 3 future first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. Scott, this deal for New Orleans resembles, the draft similar to the draft compensation they got in the Anthony Davis deal last year. It shows you how important it was and is for the Milwaukee Bucks to bring in Jrue Holiday, to find an impact player to improve this team. They are trying to get Giannis Antetokounmpo to sign that 5-year Supermax contract. He certainly wanted to see them make improvements. They tried to be involved with Dennis Schroeder. The Lakers got him in that deal. And all day today, the Bucks were determined to get a deal with Jrue Holiday and New Orleans. Now they bring him in, and you've got three legitimate all-stars, and obviously the MVP and Giannis, Chris Middleton, and now Jrue Holiday, one of the best two-way guards in all of the NBA.
I hesitate to say goodbye because if I do, you're going to get on your phone, you're going to start tweeting and breaking news. So if you do that, then we're going to make you come back on. So it's up to you. Your call.
Well, we got one more. The Rockets have made a trade too tonight, I'm told.
There you go.
They're sending Robert Covington to the Trailblazers. They're going to get back Trevor Ariza and a couple future first-round picks. And so that's a great pickup for Portland, Robert Covington. And now you see a team in Houston now, that's moving off, one of their starters, and they get something that they don't have a lot of, and that's draft picks.
All right, Woj, that'll do it, okay? That'll do. Thank you, as always.
Good night, Scott.
For your time. Again, you tweet, we're going to make you come back on. So, again, your call, whatever you want to do. Thanks, as always. You're the best.